Hi and welcome to the Balisong community. If you decided to pick up a Balisong knife or buy one online and learn some tricks with it, then you're automatically part of the community. So my name is ArtSea. I am making this video to help every beginner know the basic things about balisong flipping. It's a large sport throughout the world, and I didn't know a few things when I was a beginner that I wish I did know. So I'm going to be teaching you those things. First, I'm going to go through an outline of the video. So number one, I'm going to talk about terminology. Then number two, I'm going to talk about tips before starting. Number three, what knife to buy. Number four, what are the first tricks you should be learning. Number five, how amazing you can get. Number six, who flips balisongs. Number seven, curved versus straight handle balisongs. Number 8, combos versus tricks. Number 9, parts of a balisong. And number 10, I'm gonna talk about submitting tricks to me that are homemade that anyone can submit. Okay, first know if you ever have a question about a balisong tutorial or anything about balisongs, you can DM me on Instagram. Here's my Instagram, and I will answer you. I respond to every DM. Every 3 days I answer everyone. Okay, so the first point I'm going to make is about terminology. So many of you have been seeing probably on the internet that this is called a balisong knife, a balisong, or a butterfly knife. All three are correct. It could be called any of the three names, and a lot of us just call it balisong because it's like one word, easy to pronounce. And that term originated in the Philippines. This is a live blade. That means that this is a real knife. These are illegal in a lot of parts of the U.S., and I would suggest keeping it in your house, maybe, if you have one, where it's illegal. But a lot of people, if they don't want to get cut by a live blade, they'll tape the blade, or they'll buy a trainer. A trainer is a knife like this, in which there is no blade. It's not sharp at all. And it's usually used for beginners that want to practice the sport. I'll tell you later in the video where to get trainers and everything. So some tips before starting or picking up a balisong. It is all about practice and determination. So someone who is willing to put in hard work, practice, do it in their free time whenever, those are the people that are going to get better. And if you're getting kind of frustrated, you're trying to learn a trick or two and you can't, it's all about practice and just doing it over and over again until you get it. And I'll help you with strategies, but I can't help you with practice. You got to do that yourself. Also, don't expect to be really good at first. This takes a lot of time and effort to become more advanced. But if you put in the work, you can really learn how to impress people with your skills. Another thing, if you're using a live blade, just know you will get cut a lot if you're a beginner. I'm just saying this from experience. The first time I used a live blade, I went to the hospital. I got stitches in my leg and in my pinky. And then I got an infection in my leg and everything. So be careful if you're using a live blade. See when you flip the balisong out, how it hits your knuckles? Well, that hurt me at first. So just know that that's a normal thing. A lot of people report that to me, that, oh wow, my knuckles hurt. Because it is. It's a heavy thing hitting your knuckles. And that's going to maybe leave bruises. Maybe your hands are used to heavy work like that, so I don't really know. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about knives that you should buy and the 5 different categories I can think of knives. There's under 30, there's under 100, there's $100 to $300, $300 to $500, and then over $500. So those are 5 categories. If you're a beginner, I'm assuming you're going to want to get under 100. Unless you really want to get into this sport, then go ahead, get a better knife, They're very nice. When you get a better knife, it's better quality, it won't fall apart, and the screws won't come loose every single second. Okay, so I'm going to start with under 30. Any CCC knife, like this, would be good to get under 30. They're obviously going to fall apart quickly. This one doesn't even have screws, so if it starts becoming loose, you can't even fix it. So you got to be careful with this category and anything under 100 because it could be considered a clone, and the community will not like you if you buy a clone. Clones are usually from China, and they're not supporting US-made products. They're usually a knife that looks exactly like a really expensive knife, but it's cheaper and cheaper quality. I have a clone right here. I accidentally got it, and it honestly, it's already falling apart, and I would suggest not getting this. It doesn't have a logo on it. That's how you can tell it's a clone. I really suggest not getting that. You should get a CCC knife instead. The second category of knives is under 100 or around 100. That would be any kind of BALISONGS knives or Kershaw. Some Kershaw are above 100, but they're around that price. These are pretty good if you want to get into the sport and you're trying it out. These are great knives to start with. They're not great to go on to become like professional flippers with, because they kind of, I don't know, their weight is a little off. I would say this knife, the BALISONGS that I have, it's very heavy and it just doesn't flip as well as my other ones. So I would suggest getting something that's a little more expensive if you want to get truly into the sport. So the next category would be $100 to $300, and that would be any squid industry knives or like a bare bones. I would look these terms up on the internet if you don't know what I'm talking about. I don't have a squid knife. I really want to get one. Most of the ones that come from Squiddy Industries are trainers, and you can actually find them under 100 sometimes. But they're really nice, the weight and everything, so I would suggest getting one of those first. Next is the $300 to $500 category, and the knife I flip with every single day, every single video practically from now on, is going to be with this replicant. I would suggest replicants as your core knife. This is one of the best knives this is the best knife I've ever had. It honestly, it just flips so fluidly, and I don't know, it's just amazing. Anything from BRS is a great knife, whether it be an Alpha Beast or a replicant or any of the other ones they have on their site. You usually have to get those from Instagram sales or from drops. If you follow their newsletter or their website, they'll email you every time they have a drop. And then the next category is over 500, and I'm talking about $800 or more. This has to do with the OSP Matrix and Benchmade knives. A lot of Benchmade knives that are not clones, which are kind of hard to find, are that like really expensive, but I don't think they flip as well as like a replicant, so I would probably stay in the 300 to 500 unless you're collecting. In that category, there's also the Tachyon 2 and the 42 Gold Steel Archangel. Okay, so the next point is what tricks to learn first. So the first one I would learn is the video I just posted before this. It's the basic openings video, and basic openings are usually the start to every trick. But you can do a lot of combos without starting with a basic opening. Also, I posted an amazing video that has a lot of views, and it's up in the link above, and it's down in the description below, and it has to do with every trick you should learn in order for beginners. Next point, how amazing can you get if you become a balisong flipper? I'm gonna sell you on this point right now. Okay, so you can become pretty insane if you practice a lot, if you participate in the community and learn as much as you can. It might take a year or two, but it's totally worth it. I would go check this list of people out. A lot of them are winners from all of the different balisong competitions you can do. I think a lot of them are throughout the world, but many are throughout the United States. Some of them include Blade Show West, Balicomp, California, or Fliptoberfest. So those are just some of the competitions you can participate in if you become a good flipper, and you'll make a lot of friends on the way. I'm always trying to become better at flipping, just so you know, like no one's perfect. You'll mess up sometimes, and that's okay. Like, flipping is about having fun and being yourself. I don't know. A lot of people take it a little seriously. A lot of it is just about flow. So, okay, who flips balisongs? People from around the world DM me constantly about balisongs, and I love hearing from people from different cultures and different languages. Yeah, so the top countries, if you're curious, are the Netherlands, Canada, the US, Germany, Sweden, and Australia. Those are the top countries that text me all the time. Also, balisongs are illegal in a lot of places, especially the US. And so I would say maybe just don't bring it outside. You'll get caught. If you bring it outside, you will probably get caught. And maybe buy a trainer if you want to bring it outside and show your friends. The next thing I'm going to say is that there are 2 different types of knives. I get this question all the time on Instagram, so I'm just going to say it right now. So this is a curved knife, and a lot of them are CSGO, some of them are just curved handle knives. And a lot of them are pretty, you know, with colors. And then this is a conventional straight handled knife. So what's the difference? A lot of you ask me this. This one is cheap. It's under $100. It's probably about $30 to $40. But it falls apart super quickly, and for some reason, the curved handle makes it harder to flip. So if you're a beginner and you're just doing beginner tricks and some intermediate, you can get away with using this. But I don't think it's just not as good quality as a conventional straight handle. So a straight handled knife, I don't know why, but it's easier to do advanced tricks on, especially ladders, and a ladder looks kind of like this. So a ladder is where you're going around each finger. It's so much easier to do a ladder with this. So what's the difference between a trick and a combo? A trick is a part of a combo that's in its simplest form. So a trick would be the wrist pass, like that. You see how it was really simple? Another trick could be spinning the knife around your fingers and coming back all the way. That trick is called the twirl ladder. So most of the tricks on the internet are made up by people from a long time ago, from like 2010 and earlier than that, that are named, and everyone has accepted them in the community as a trick. A combo would be putting together 2 or more tricks. Sometimes it's 3 or more tricks. So a combo, for instance, would be doing a Zen rollover into a behind the 8-ball into a wrist pass. Maybe that would be a combo. Because you're taking tricks that already have names and putting them together. Okay, so now I'm going to explain the parts of a balisong. By the way, these are not supposed to be this way. They're supposed to be 2 screws facing up. It just happens to be like that. This is the safe handle. This is the bite handle. This is really important when you're learning tricks, because if I tell you to use the safe handle on a trick, hold it by the safe handle. It's really important. It's easiest to remember the bite handle as being between the blade and the handle. So if you put your finger right here, you're going to get cut. And that's why the safe handle is safe, because it's back here. These are screws, and in between the screws are the pivots. If you're taking apart a knife, you'll see the pivots. And in between those, like, they're really wedged in there. They're called washers. It makes the knife have less play and tap, and they're easy to exchange if you need to. This is called the swedge. You can customize your knife to have that or not. This one does. So there could be sandwich or channel handle construction. I'm not going to go into depth about that, but that exists. Also, there's a logo right here. This is called the spacer. You can customize that also. I'm going to switch knives right now because the other knife doesn't have a latch, so this is called the latch. The latch can close the knife, or it can just keep it, you know, so it doesn't. Okay, so you can submit any homemade tricks that you have for me. A homemade trick will be most likely featured on the channel if it's not a combo. I don't do too many combos on this channel. So again, go back to the part about combos and you'll know what I mean. So if it's a trick that's original, if you can't find it anywhere on YouTube, and I'll tell you if I can find it on YouTube or not. And if you give me a really clear like viewing of it, like you give me a slow-mo of it and everything, there's a chance I'll probably post it on the channel. So, and I'll definitely mention your name. Okay, please like and subscribe. The subscribe button's right here. And comment any questions you have in Instagram DMs or below, and I'll answer them.